I would have thought I wouldn't get a piece like this for 3 or 5 years. Hey everybody, it's Pete Maverick Mitchell. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. We're having a great time today. It's probably one of the greatest watch days, and I know we keep saying that. One of my favorite brands and one of the greatest brands of all time, FP Journe.
I think everyone wants to know, how'd you even hear about it? How'd you get into it? Where does it start? And what was your first watch?
I just started reading about it more and more, and I got into it, and I kept hearing from major collectors and people I deeply respect. And then the more you got into it, the more you were literally blown away. Think about if you met the founder of Rolex. Imagine if you had a chance to meet the modern Rembrandt, a modern master. In your lifetime, you'd say, I'd buy that experience, I'd do anything I could, really, without breaking the law, of course. But imagine he's still living today, and he started hitting it in the late 90s and came out with this watch, and that stands for Francois Paul Journe, FP Journe. They're doing only about 1,000 watches a year, which is crazy,
wow.
Right? I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
He is absolutely dead fast focused. So that means if you're grateful and lucky enough to get on that list, it may be 1.5, 2 years, but it's great. You get a letter, not when you get a watch only, you get a letter and they're like, you're not getting one this year. So you get, your report card comes in every year, and you're gonna get, if you grade it this way, an A or an F, right? And it has nothing to do with personal, it's just they have so many few precious ones, right? And to answer your question, a lot of the collectors freaked out because the CB, or Chronometre Bleu, is a very, very coveted watch by Journe collectors. And this was a piece I didn't think I'd get before 2, 3, 4, 5. I have my gorgeous discontinued Centograph in the safe. I wasn't able to bring it back. We've wore it before. It reminds me of Ferrari and accurate, racing days. So that was my first, but that was in a secondary market. This is my first from the boutique. And to get this as your first watch, I was so honored. I didn't want to cry like a grown-up man, but I didn't want him to think, French are pretty tough, strong people.
Right.
But I definitely went home and shed a couple tears. So to get this with tantalum and that dial, and they have very few people, I don't want to go into specific numbers because I know a lot more now being back there, and I'm just going to tell you, not every dial will even come close to making it. So they are so fastidious at about how many coats of paint lacquer, that they're putting on there, and I love this. That reflective dial is just crazy.
Right.
And then that bone-like color hands is really a gorgeous contrast. And just look at that beautiful fit and finish, and the tantalum is such a difficult metal to work with. So this is stunningly thin, gorgeous, complex, and we're talking, a very low price point. I think I paid below 40, and to think that it's worth, double or 2.5 on the secondary market, I think if you were to, research, I think it'd be somewhere between 80 and they're climbing up to 90, and probably so somewhere between 85, 90, and 100. I'll tell you that because, I'll never sell.
Right.
But this is something, immense value and simplicity, invented and built, their motto. I love the off secondary hand, not centered, on the 6, on the dial. Nice power reserve, really nice movement. But I think if you trace their roots, I think they've been getting just better and better on their iterations every year.
Touching back on the secondary market, you said you purchased your first FP Journe off the gray market. Now, do you think that helped you get that piece?
Certainly didn't hurt. I mean, the way I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm very patient on a lot of things in business and in life, and so I'm like, it's a hot drop of water on a block of ice, and maybe one day I'll wake up and it cuts through,
Right.
So maybe with good fortune or timing, or maybe somebody drops off, or maybe they take pity in this old fool. But I'll tell you, it happened quick, and the collectors were impressed, because there are mega collectors out there. And so that was 24, right? Now this year, to have this on the right wrist, and then for them giving me, as you know, we've shot some film on this, the highest honor, to have the boutique edition Vertical Tourbillon. You could be a person of unlimited fame and wealth and a collection, which many people do, but you would still put this watch on your wrist and be honored every day. I can't tell you, it is not inexpensive, but it's a deal compared to what it's worth and how precise this is. And for this to have the tourbillon, remontoire d'elegant, and the deadbeat seconds or second mort, so the second hand will click and people think, oh, that's wrong. No, and for how complicated that is, being disconnected from the main engine and having the 2 separate drives and the movements, and then for the polishing, and if the tourbillon is vertical and not horizontal, it will be more accurate and lose less time by the effects of gravity. And Martin covered that a little bit in the video we shot. So to have that with a beautiful power reserve, that deadbeat second, the beautiful dial, and in all its glory, and Danny and Gabe, you'll recall when I brought this to Happy, they put the loop in and they were studying the fit and finish, and they were blown away at how much the evolution, right? At the back, is this just like the greatest?
Wow.
I mean, I love my Cinnagraph, then I got my Chronometre Bleu, and I was blown away, and then I got this, and I'll tell you, I wear this so much. I know I'm trying to be careful and always keep it pristine, but also I put on this ingenious self-tightener.
That is just one of the coolest straps I've seen.
Snap, so setting 1 through 8, and so this loosens counterclockwise, and this tightens clockwise. And so you literally have the best of all worlds. You literally have, you don't have to take it off to adjust it if your wrist contracts or expands.
Now, what was going through your mind when they gave you the call, like, hey, you can come and pick this up?
I freaked out. Well, I freaked out for multiple reasons. Let's go through why I had like 3 heart palpitations. So, number one, I can't believe it because they came and they said, we want to, one of my dear friends who shall be anyways, we want to put a big watch on your wrist before Watches and Wonders. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I thought my Rainbow and my RM30 or my Patek Tiffany Co-Stamp Blue 5961P Diamond Baguette. This is a different kind of wow. They told me, number one. Number two, quote, a deal is still $345,000, right? So it's not an inexpensive watch.
Right.
And I have no idea what it's worth on the secondary market. You can almost not find them. I'm gonna say $500,000 to $600,000. You were talking a major heavy piece.
And that's if you can find it.
And that's if you can find it.
Right.
You know, and this is the boutique edition, so it's black on the face. And so the rarity, the quality, the precision, and if you're gonna have 5, 6, 7, 8 FP Journes minimum to start your collection, certainly you're gonna have this in your collection. And then number 3, you're like, okay, I gotta pay $345,000, you know what I mean? So that was the third thing, unscheduled. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna go out and, we're gonna sell some more lemonade and we're gonna, do whatever we gotta do, right? It's the least of the problems and the biggest problem, right? Getting one, unless they say yes, it's a no. And then getting one this big, this early from your list, because usually it could take years upon years and years and years,
really?
right?
Like how many would you think?
I would have thought I wouldn't get a piece like this for 3 or 5 years.
And it took you...
what do you think, 1.5 years, did they say? Almost under 2 years?
I think when you told me, it was like a year.
Yeah, somewhere around there from tip to tip. It depends, of course, when they put the list in and all that. Nikki's getting her first in November. So she got the good letter, and they're pretty, congratulations, or we're sorry, no, this year. I love that. It's so French, and it's so just very business, to the point, goodbye.
Wow, okay, so we're gonna have to do a video on that.
Oh, we're gonna do a video, and you're gonna go crazy when you see her watch, and I will wear her watch anytime, any place, anywhere.
Gosh. Now, to wrap it all up, what has been your favorite memory with FP Journe thus far, and what do you hope to see later down the road, like wear yourself?
So it's probably R+ or X rated, so I can't do that because the way we joke and drink and smoke over there. So I'll go to something a little more tamed down for our viewers. One of my favorite times when I took them out to dinner and brought wine, and then tied with that was when they remodeled the LA boutique and opened it and did a party. And everybody was there and doubling in the size, and the grandeur, the artwork on the walls, the chandelier, the very French motifs. It was a magical night, and you saw people come out and the stuff they were wearing on their wrist. Woo-wee. Was it heavy, heavy, heavy?
Yeah.
So that's a good, and that's the PG-13 version. So I'm not going into any more stuff.
I think that's good rating for us.
Because when we hit the champagne and the Bordeaux's and the Burgundies and the watches, and we keep it in the ballpark, but it's full strength because, when you're with family, you don't hold anything, right? You just let your, and again, I'm just one of, thousands or, out there, but I'm just grateful to be one of thousands. Thank you again for your time. Please like and subscribe. We're growing thanks to you. We hit another milestone. Please comment below and tell us other subjects you'd like to see. If they let us, I say we go in and film them in the boutique. That would be cool if they let us.
Amazing, yeah.
To be continued. Thanks, everybody.